What is going on tonight? I believe there's some effects and some things that I can mess with here. Let's try and do a track. Let's say if I wanted to drop in a track here, I'm going to see what would happen. For instance, I don't know if you can hear this or not, if I drop something in here. What is that? You hear that? I assume you can. You hear that? Alright, just gonna sort of chill. I'm listening to this back to the speakers. Just some doing the space music. About 3 minutes long or so. Maybe we'll just use that for the entire episode in fact. So get busy here and start talking about some other stuff that maybe you've heard of and maybe you haven't. Be looking at some software as well. Be adding more things little by little. Building that bridge and pushing through to the other side. Gonna make things look a little better, gonna clean things up, gonna get that website rocking and rolling, put away the makeup. We're gonna do a little jig, we're gonna dance, sing a song or two as well. This is a variety show. We're going to treat it as such. Doesn't matter how funky it's getting. Yeah, hear that little change up there? Little thing. Whole dynamic shifted, didn't it? Getting moving here, just a little over a minute and 20 seconds. We're going to get started. We're going to have some sound effects. Maybe I'll drop in another tune here as well. What is it? What am I going to drop in? I don't know. I don't even know what the heck this is. Yes, we'll give it a look, won't we? Why do I have 4 copies of this same audio file? What the heck is going on here? See the same damn clip all to the entire song, and I'll play it if I want. I don't know if I got the auto ducking feature turned on here. Getting some feedback loop coming to the microphone. That could be problematic due to the monitoring location, microphone proximity to said location. May end up in a stream of senseless feedback if the gain is pushed too high at this point. I guess we're going to have to make it do anyway. We've got about 24 seconds, 23, 22 seconds. Counting down here. Right, count it down. We're going to start talking live. We're already talking live, but it's being recorded, brought to you, but it's not memorized. Right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. All right, so appreciate you listening to the little groove there and the lead in. And we are tonight just sort of wild streaming here. Don't have anybody on chat. We're going to start getting some people on chat. We're going to do some networking tomorrow morning. Sunday morning is networking Sunday. If you're up and you're posting on Twitter, you're fair game for a comment. Company, person, whatever. Let's see what's going on. Let's have some fun. Let's share some recipes. Let's eat some healthy foods. Let's hang out and push through this all together. So, having some coffee tonight. I don't normally drink coffee at 11 plus after 11 p.m. on in the evening. Not a common thing. I wanted to get this episode out here. I got so much stuff I'm talking about. And I was talking about some things later if anybody joined me for the talkathon. You're going to be like, now, why are you on here so much? You don't have a lot of listenership. It's a brand new podcast. It just came out, literally a few days ago. You got to build it like you own it. You got to be a part of it like you're talking to a room of 5 billion people. Even if nobody's listening, put in a recording, you never know who's going to hear your information and say, hey, what? And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and send him that. And I looked it up last night. It's actually a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I think, what's it, like $5,000, 4,500 or something for that bad boy. And I'm still going to go ahead and take one of those. I need one of those. I definitely need a Paul Reed Smith. I'm not picky, to be honest with you. I like the whole line. I'm not going to name names of PRSs that I would want. I love them all, so... If you feel that I'm worthy of a P.R. Reed Smith, well, you're Mr. Paul himself, you're somebody from Sweetwater or ZZ Zounds or one of these other places, and you want me to shut up about someone sending me a PRS, go ahead and contact me at Garage Traders. Hello? Hello? We're back to the normal broadcast. Go ahead and contact me at technotwerps at gmail.com. Again, that is technotwerps at gmail.com. Again, technotwerps at gmail.com is where you need to send email inquiries. You can drop me a message there on Twitter. It's all fine. It's all good in the neighborhood right now. Just looking at a few options, and you got the ducking feature turned on. Got some effects. We can share this out to social media if we wanted to. Not everything's going to Twitter. You got to be part of the link. You got to be a part of the crew. You got to be here and listening into the podcast streaming live on a station near you. Got a lot of things we want to talk about. Possibly coffee is not the best thing to be drinking this time of night, but after that massive talkathon, I think it was like an hour and a half. My throat and what I just did right before I ate, my throat is starting to run a little dry here. And maybe coffee is just a magical thing. Maybe it's not. But we'll figure this out and move forward. It says monitor enable so you can listen to the source in your headphones. Can you hear the source in your headphones? Actually, it's just feeding back. It's feeding back because that's the way that we have it set up right now. I'm going to go ahead and see what we do if this happens. What would happen if this were to happen? We got some side effects. Shouldn't have ate that extra donut. Okay, I didn't actually eat any donuts, but I'm just telling you, maybe my voice would sound like this if I did. So let's get pushing along here. We got sound effects. We got some, we're trying to connect to this, that, the other. We're just going to start pushing buttons here. We do not give a shite. What am I doing here? I'm looking up something. Download this, download that. We're going to have some call-ins on here as well. I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be downloading. I don't actually see the download button. We're going to get around to this another time. I was talking about some software earlier and how that Apple has discontinued a tremendous amount of applications. Let's see what's going on. Software that Apple discontinued. And what they're going to do a whole thing. Let's see. Category discontinued Apple software. Okay, the original iPod app got discontinued. Was developed by Apple and released with iPhone OS 1, iPhone OS 1 through 4.3.5 to allow access to music and video content synced in iOS to iTunes. Yada yada yada. This seems like a cool site. I don't know. Let's get out of here for a minute. Apple TV software, OS X 10.11, 10.2. Ether Talk. Oh, this is gonna be a fun website. I'd like to talk to these guys. Maybe. Well, let's just see what happens. Apple FM radio. What's happening if I click on that? Getting some advertisements on here. Looks like it could be a fun site to talk about some Apple stuff. Sort of glitchy on the way things are loading. I expect that. But we're going to save this one and we're going to come back to it. And we got to research. We can only do a few things at a time. And right now we are looking for some discontinued Apple software. Apple's killing Mac OS server. Okay, so what happened here? End of the road, Apple's killing Mac OS server, a place where Mac OS X began. So the server's most popular features have been integrated into Mac OS. Totally separate version from the launch. Continue the server. I don't really care about that so much right now. We got too many things on Aperture. An Aperture photo editing software shutter for good after Mac OS Mojave. And I want to look at all the software and what could you do if you were using Aperture and now that you're forced to use a different software solution. We're just a quick thing we're throwing in right there tonight. What are we going to look at? I'm going to go ahead and jump over here. Let's go ahead and give some credit where credit's due. I'm over here on Ars Technica. I just want to read through an article or something. Let's see. All right. Advance faces tough trial as judge already rules his tweets were false and reckless. Funding a secured tweet. Expert predict he's going to lose. I don't know. I'm just reading. I don't have any opinion on this stuff. All right. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. I didn't see anything that I really want to look at technology-wise tonight. We looked at, I believe, I don't know if I was on the Apple website last night talking about that interface. We are just trying to get some idea. What's this? Fandom. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the best aperture replacement. We're just trying to get on here. This is going to be our best audios when I'm just going straight through here directly from the system audio computer instead of using the pads or whatever. But everything, you got to get content posted. You can't be everything at one time. Frankly, consumer product. Lightroom Classic, as it's now called. It's a very good app, very powerful. Host for plugins. It can also pad downside, something like subscription. That's the only way you can get it. Capture One, Milio, Photo Supreme, Luminar. All right, Adobe Lightroom Classic. Have you checked out Milio? I don't know what's going on here in the discussion board. Best aperture replacement. I mean, there's going to be a lot of nerd shit on here, so brace yourselves. Every episode, we might be talking about a specific software, but this is Apple's photo editing software. They discontinued. They retired it in 2014. And I'm not really sure. Switching to Capture One Pro from Aperture. Let's take a look at this. There's another software I had downloaded recently. Let's go ahead and do this. Maybe I did download this. Is this the one? Let's take a look. If this is the one I was looking for. No, this is definitely not it. This is a little more than I would, $24 a month. I'm just not quite into photo editing right now. I'd like to find a cool photo editing software, but I also wanted to get history and what happened to Apple. Why did they not, was not sold off, import from Aperture. iPhoto with photos for OS X. I mean, that was all a bunch of bull hooky. Cannot change the aperture on your phone. I forget which aperture alternative. They call it the Milio. And Milio, I believe, we're going to have a whole discussion. I mean, every episode, we're going to discuss so many topics and so much software. You're either going to love this channel, or you're going to hate it, or you're going to love to hate it, or you're really just going to hate it. But that's okay. That's your choice. 7 photo management apps to replace aperture. We're going to be done with this gig here in a minute. We're going to start looking at something else, but I'm just interested in what's happening with Apple. They got rid of the aperture. I've looked at software. Well, what really replaced it? I mean, can you just, if you have an old Mac and an old operating system, I guess you could still run it. You just wouldn't have potential of updates and things. Adobe Lightroom, graphic converter. I remember that actually. What was that? For basic. This is a cool website I'm on right now. I'm going to save this. I need to contact some of these companies and these websites and just have them on here and tell me what's it all about. What are you about? What's going on? What are you doing? Graphic converter. And I remember this company. We want to talk about them. And there's a whole, I guess they're based in Zone. I don't know exactly where that is. Let's see. There's graphic converter, Universal Genius for photo editing, Swiss Army knife. You can do all kinds of conversions with it. Cadintosh. That's a CAD program. Exif Sync. iCalamus. What's this? Simple posters, comic magazines, and works. Is a multilingual desktop publishing solution. $55. Looks sort of old school in terms of the interface. And let's just get out of here. We're going to go back to the website we were on and just keep going from there. Emulsion, cataloging app. Departed aperture, sun, external image editor. Use by emulsion. I don't even know what this is. This should be rather recent, so most of these software titles should still be available. If you found out one thing we like is testing out different applications. We're always testing out applications, so you don't have to. So you can buy them. You know, buy these things. Let's see what this is. Unbound, no nonsense. Download the final version for free. What the hell is this? Quickly navigate your existing cloud. Why is it free now? Took over development about in early 2000 years. Do I learn about the Apple? You try the man of building an app. Sick of my job. It's hard to have a new full-time job. I'm quite happy in. It's not about experience. I'm bound. I support emails, and I feel vaguely guilty that I'm not working on improving the app anymore. Being a paid app, decided to make it about free. There's absolutely no support available for it. It's the whole point of me ceasing to sell it. Functional, Catalina, and Big Sur. Well, hell, somebody needs to buy this. Let's just go ahead. How do I download this shit anyways? System requirements. Download the final. No support available. How small is this application anyways? Is it very small? Nor okay. Got to go up here. That's the unknown developer thing that you get on your Mac when you're installing some software, and it's like letting you know that you're installing it from unapproved. We're going to open it anyway, and we're going to open it again. Does it run? Does it not run? We don't know. Should. We think it should. Is it actually doing anything down here? Do I have to move it? Ignore, quit, detailed. Yeah, it's just totally trashed. 1015 and Big Sur. What job rank system? Oh, and anyways. Monterey is where we're at right now.